All right, so we're diving deep today
Deep, deep.
into the Oakland East Bay Economic Forecast 2019.
That's right, from the Oakland Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce.
It's quite a dense report,
Yeah, it is a lot to unpack.
but that's what we're here for, to unpack it all for you.
Exactly. We'll make sense of it all. Connect the dots, so to speak.
Yeah, and we'll start broad
Big picture.
with the U.S. economy,
Yeah.
then California,
Then we'll narrow our focus to the East Bay.
and finally we'll zero in on Oakland itself.
That's right, all 7 districts.
Okay, so first up, the U.S. economy in 2018.
Okay.
Now, on the surface, things look pretty good, right?
Yeah, I mean, you had the longest expansion on record.
Uh-huh.
Low unemployment.
Yep.
Steady growth.
You'd think everyone would be, like, celebrating.
Or option champagne.
Right, exactly.
Ah,
But the
yeah.
report flags this.
This kind of interesting
Put that flag on.
paradox. Yeah.
Despite these strong economic indicators,
Yeah.
there was this, like, underlying sense of unease.
Yeah, kind of an anxiety in the air.
So help me understand this, like, why the gloomy faces
Right.
in the midst of this, like, economic boom?
Well, the report points to a few factors.
Okay.
Stock market volatility was one, rising interest rates were another,
Hey.
and there were whispers of inflation on the horizon. Even though, as the report highlights, inflation remained largely in check.
Right.
So it seems like these short-term anxieties were kind of overshadowing the positive long-term outlook.
So it's kind of like you get a promotion,
Yeah.
you're excited about it, but you're also nervous about, like...
Yeah, like what's the new boss going to be like?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So good news, but with a side of apprehension.
Exactly.
Okay, so what about the housing market?
Yeah.
I mean, was everyone, like, bracing themselves for another bubble?
Right. Well, the report's pretty clear on this. No bubble here.
Boom bubble.
No bubble. And it really attributes that stability in the housing market
Right.
to those same rising interest rates that we were just talking about.
Okay, so they were actually a good thing, in a way.
Yeah, in a way, they helped keep things in check.
Interesting. So U.S. economy, fundamentally sound, but with a little bit of, like, nervous energy.
Yeah. Bit of apprehension.
Now let's slide over to California,
All right. The Golden State.
land of innovation, tech giants, and, well, sky-high housing costs. Right?
Yeah, you could say that. But the report really dives into those nuances.
Okay, give us the rundown. What was happening in California in 2018?
Well, it was definitely a powerhouse, strong job growth. Wages were rising, and of course, the tech sector continued to dominate. But there's a really crucial nuance in this success story.
A nuance. Okay, I'm intrigued. What's the catch?
Well, it seems that California was experiencing a surge in what economists call population-serving jobs.
Okay.
These are roles in sectors like healthcare, leisure, and hospitality.
Right.
Important jobs, absolutely.
Yeah.
But they don't necessarily drive the same kind of massive economic output that, say, a groundbreaking tech invention would.
Ah, okay. So lots of baristas and nurses, but not enough people building the next Google or Tesla.
You got it. And the report really emphasizes this point. California needs to cultivate industries that not only create jobs, but also generate that really significant economic output.
Yeah, the kind of stuff that fuels higher wages, increased tax revenue,
Yeah.
like a more robust economy overall.
Exactly. More robust economy.
Okay, so there's that nuance. But California was also grappling with another issue, right? The
Yeah.
tight labor market,
Tight labor market.
coupled with a housing shortage.
Yes. A very familiar story, unfortunately.
So wait, hold on. A tight labor market in a booming economy.
I know it sounds counterintuitive.
How does that even work?
Well, basically, there were more jobs available than people to fill them.
Wow.
And the shortage of affordable housing just made the problem even worse.
Right.
Made it hard for businesses to attract and retain workers.
So it's kind of this classic case of supply and demand, but...
But with much bigger economic consequences.
Right, okay, so California, strong, but definitely facing some internal pressures.
Yeah, like a high-performance engine that needs a tune-up.
I like that analogy. Okay, but now let's shift our focus to the East Bay. What was the economic climate like over there?
Well, the East Bay was having its own moment. The report shows the lowest unemployment rate in years, driven by growth in the logistics and tech sectors.
Uh-huh.
And get this, the commercial real estate market was on fire.
Okay, hot market alert. What was driving all of this activity?
Well, I think a key factor was affordability. Compared to San Francisco and the South Bay, the East Bay was offering significantly lower rents, which was incredibly attractive to businesses.
So companies were jumping ship from those high-rent districts.
Yeah, and setting up shop in the East Bay instead.
That sounds like a pretty significant shift in the Bay Area's economic landscape, wouldn't you say?
Oh, Oh, absolutely. The report actually compares the growth trajectory of the East Bay to San Francisco and the South Bay, and it paints a very compelling picture. The East Bay was emerging as a major player in the region's economy.
So the East Bay, a rising star, attracting businesses, enjoying lower rents, and poised for continued growth. Sounds pretty good, right?
Yeah, a lot of potential there.
But now let's zero in on the heart of it all,
Main attraction.
Oakland. What was the state of its economy in 2017?
Well, it was a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. Job growth was solid, especially in healthcare, leisure, and hospitality, and finance. Wages were up too, a healthy 4.5%.
That's encouraging.
It is, it is. But the housing shortage we were talking about, yeah, it was a major factor in Oakland as well.
Okay, so pushing up home prices,
Yeah.
creating affordability challenges.
Yep.
It's like a tale of two cities.
Yeah.
Economic growth on one hand, but this real struggle for affordability on the other.
Unfortunately.
And we've seen this theme play out across California.
Yeah, it's a common thread.
But, Oakland isn't a monolith, right?
Right.
It's made up of these distinct districts.
Absolutely. Each with its own personality.
Yeah, its own economic character.
Exactly.
So that's where we'll dig in next.
Welcome back.
So before the break, we were about to embark on this neighborhood by neighborhood
Yeah, a tour of Oakland's 7 districts.
exploration.
Exactly.
All right, so let's kick things off with District 1,
Okay.
home to some of Oakland's, most desirable neighborhoods.
Yeah, the trendy spots.
Rock Ridge, places like that. So what's the economic landscape like there?
Well, District 1 is a strong economic performer.
Okay.
It's got the 3rd largest workforce in Oakland and the 3rd highest average wage.
Ah, interesting.
And it's a real hub for healthcare and leisure and hospitality.
Which makes sense, right, given all the trendy restaurants and shops and boutiques in those neighborhoods.
Exactly, exactly. All those population-soothing jobs we were talking about earlier.
Right, yeah.
They're really concentrated there in District 1.
It's interesting how those broad economic trends we discussed, they actually play out at the neighborhood level.
Right, it all comes down to the local level eventually.
Yeah. And, we can't talk about District 1 without mentioning Square.
Right, absolutely. They're a massive expansion into Uptown Station.
Yeah, that was a major win for District 1.
Huge, huge win.
And I think a real signal that Oakland is becoming, a serious contender
Yeah,
in the Bay Area's tech scene.
absolutely. That move by Square really put Oakland on the map.
Yeah, yeah. So District 1,
Yeah.
affluent, trendy,
Trendy for sure.
and increasingly tech-savvy.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so let's move on to District 2. What makes that district tick economically?
District 2 is kind of this fascinating blend of history and modernity.
Okay.
You've got the cultural richness of Chinatown, and then the educational hub of Laney College.
Right.
And it's also the most populous district in Oakland, with a pretty robust financial services sector.
So District 2 is where people work, learn,
Yeah,
manage their money.
absolutely.
It sounds like kind of a microcosm of Oakland itself in a way.
Yeah.
Diverse, dynamic,
Yeah.
full of potential.
Yeah, I like that.
And the report actually highlights this significant growth
Yes.
in median household income in District 2.
Right.
So that indicates that residents are actually, experiencing economic progress.
They are, yeah. And that's really encouraging to see.
Yeah, it's good news. Okay, so now let's head over to District 3.
All right, District 3.
This encompasses downtown Oakland,
Downtown.
the, bustling waterfront area of Jack London Square,
Jack London Square. Yep.
and of course the Port of Oakland.
The iconic port.
So what's going on there economically?
Well, District 3 is a powerhouse
Yep.
when it comes to professional and business services.
Mhm.
In fact, it has the highest average annual wage in the city.
Wow, okay. So that's where the high earners are.
Yeah, you could say that.
Wow.
But the report also reveals a curious detail.
A curious detail. Okay, I like those. What is it?
A decline in construction jobs in District 3.
A decline. That's unexpected, isn't it? given all the development, all the construction happening in that part of town.
Yeah, it's a little surprising.
Why do you think that is?
Well, it's hard to say for certain without, digging deeper.
Yeah.
But it could be due to, a few things. Maybe the completion of some major projects,
Okay.
or maybe just a shift in investment priorities, or even perhaps just a temporary lull in construction activity.
Yeah, who knows?
It's something to watch, definitely.
Agreed. So District 3, a mix of high-earning professionals, waterfront charm,
Yeah.
and a bit of a question mark
Little mystery.
hanging over the construction sector.
Yeah, a little bit of a head scratcher.
Okay, let's shift gears now and explore District 4.
Okay, District.
What's the economic vibe like over there?
Well, District 4 is all about community,
Okay.
It actually has the second fewest employees in Oakland,
Huh.
and wages there are lower than the city average.
Okay. Healthcare, retail, and hospitality are the primary employers.
So really providing those, essential services
Yeah, meeting the needs of residents.
to residents.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's a district that's maybe more focused on, meeting those needs of its residents than attracting big businesses.
Right.
Or those, high-paying jobs.
Yeah, it's a different kind of economic engine.
Right, yeah. It is interesting, though, the report mentions that despite those lower average wages,
Yeah.
the median household income in District 4 is quite high.
It is. It is.
That's what's on there.
Well, it suggests that maybe a lot of residents have income sources beyond traditional employment.
Okay, so maybe investments or...
Yeah, investments, maybe retirement funds.
Interesting. Okay, so it sounds like District 4 is a place where
Yeah.
people have kind of found this comfortable balance between work and life.
Yeah, I think so.
Now let's move on to District 5.
Okay.
What's driving economic activity in this part of Oakland?
District 5 is a story of revitalization.
And entrepreneurship.
Oh, I like it.
It's anchored by the Fruitvale Transit Village, which is this vibrant hub for small businesses and community development.
Right?
And the report shows that District 5 actually experienced the third highest growth in both employment and wages.
Wow, okay. And what was fueling that growth?
It was really fueled by this surge in small businesses.
So it's a district on the rise.
It is.
Powered by the energy.
And the innovation.
Yeah, the innovation of these small business owners.
Exactly.
That's exciting to see.
It is. And the report really emphasizes that point, that vital role that small businesses play in creating a more inclusive and equitable economy.
Right. And they provide opportunities for local residents, right? They strengthen community ties.
Absolutely. Strengthen those community ties.
Yeah, and they contribute to the unique character of the neighborhood.
They do. They really do.
So District 5 sounds like a place where people are coming together to build a better future for themselves and their community.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay, so we've got 2 districts left.
Right.
District 6 and 7.
The final 2.
What can you tell us about them?
Well, District 6 is an interesting one. It has the fewest employees in the city, but it actually saw the most robust employment growth in 2017.
Really?
Yeah, a whopping 6.3%.
Wow, that's impressive.
It is. And healthcare was the main driver behind this surge.
So healthcare seems to be a major economic engine in several of Oakland's districts.
There really is, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if healthcare is driving this growth in District 6, are those newly created jobs actually paying well?
That's the key question, right? And the report does point out that even with this job growth, average wages in District 6 are still lower than in other parts of the city.
So more jobs, but potentially not the high-paying kind.
Right.
That would really boost the local economy.
Exactly.
It's a reminder that economic growth doesn't always mean shared prosperity for everyone, right?
Right. It's important to look beyond just the numbers.
Yeah, understand those nuances.
Exactly.
Okay, and that brings us to District 7.
Our final stop.
Our final stop on this economic tour of Oakland.
The grand finale.
So this district is probably best known for its entertainment venues.
Yeah, the Oracle Arena, the Oakland Coliseum,
The Coliseum?
and of course its proximity to the airport.
Right, so it's the district that brings to mind sports, concerts, travel.
Yeah, all the fun stuff.
Yeah, all the fun stuff. But what's the economic picture, beyond those familiar landmarks?
Well, District 7 is actually Oakland's second largest employer.
Wow, okay.
And while it saw significant wage growth in 2017, the report highlights a really interesting fact. The largest employment sector in District 7 isn't actually sports or entertainment. It's Logistics.
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 So we're talking transportation,
Transportation.
warehousing, all those behind-the-scenes operations.
All the things that keep things moving.
To keep things moving, yeah.
Exactly.
And that makes sense,
It does.
given its location near the airport and meter transportation routes.
It's a critical hub
Yeah.
for the flow of goods and services in and out of Oakland.
So District 7 is like the unsung hero of Oakland's economy.
I like that.
The engine room that keeps everything running smoothly.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
While large businesses in District 7 did experience a slight dip in employment, the strong growth in wages suggests that the jobs being created there are relatively well-paying, which is good news for workers in the district.
Okay, so District 7, a hub for logistics, decent wages, and a really vital contributor to Oakland's overall economic success. And with that, we've completed our whirlwind tour of Oakland's 7 districts.
Each district really does have its own unique economic fingerprint, doesn't it? It's a reminder that Oakland's economy is this tapestry woven from so many different threads.
It's a city of contrasts,
It is.
with pockets of affluence and poverty,
Yeah.
innovation and tradition, growth and stagnation.
Yeah. It's all there.
And it's that complexity and diversity that makes Oakland such a fascinating place to study, both economically and culturally.
Absolutely. It really is fascinating stuff, isn't it? Oakland isn't just one economy. It's this collection of interconnected economic ecosystems.
Right. Each with its own strengths, its own weaknesses, its own opportunities.
Exactly. And I think that's a key takeaway for everyone listening. It's about, going beyond those headlines, going beyond the surface, and really getting a good grasp on the forces shaping Oakland's economic future.
Absolutely. So we've explored the data, uncovered the trends, shared those surprising insights, and hopefully, we've sparked your curiosity a bit.
Yeah, at least a little spark.
About this whole complex interplay of factors that contribute to a thriving economy. But, all this knowledge, it's only powerful when it's actually applied, right?
Yeah, that's right. Knowledge is power, but
Yeah.
only when you use it.
Exactly. And remember, the report itself actually highlighted a major obstacle to Oakland's continued growth: the lack of affordable housing.
Right, that's a big one. A really pressing issue with no easy answers.
Right. And that's precisely why your engagement is so important. We want you thinking creatively, sparking those conversations, advocating for change. You use what we've discussed here today as a starting point.
A jumping off point.
Yeah, jumping off point. To become an active participant in shaping Oakland's economic future. Because ultimately, it's in everyone's hands.
It really is. The future of Oakland's economy is a collective effort.
Well said. And with that, we're going to wrap up our deep dive into Oakland's economy. We hope you've enjoyed the journey. We hope you learned some valuable things along the way.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure exploring this with you.
Likewise. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.